Hey, are you in a bad mood? Do you want to be? We're here to talk about our worst things bracket. It's Chris, it's Matt, we're 6 wins. We're doing our worst things bracket, and we're going to talk about a matchup in the first round. The number 1 seed, Student Loans, versus the number 16 seed, Bad Drivers. We've kind of come with ideas for wrestlers and actors and TV shows and known a little bit about these ones gotta be top. So as soon as I said Bad Drivers, I came into this one thinking Bad Drivers could win. Bad Drivers are terrible. And I also had the idea that for Student Loans is a semi-contentious thing for some people, because there are people that hear people complain about student loans and go, well, you shouldn't have done it, or you shouldn't get them dismissed. What's the word I'm looking for? Get your loans erased and your debt wiped out and stuff, and things like that. Although I will say it is weird that you can declare bankruptcy for any other thing and clear any debt away by taking it to court, but you can't for student loans. So if that was an option, I'm sure a lot of people would take it, but it's not. That's a terrible thing about that. And I also think one other thing, and then I'll pass it over to you. It's a matchup between one thing that only certain people will have experience with, personal experience with, and then it's something that literally everybody has experience with. That's why I think Bad Drivers is such a dark horse. And quite honestly, the more I think about it, might be my worst thing. I would maybe pick it over anything. So I am telling you right now, I would actually pick Bad Drivers. I do have student loans, and Bad Drivers is worse for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, your thoughts?
Ooh, that's good. That's good points. I am thinking you hit the nail on the head with Bad Drivers are something that everybody encounters.
Yeah.
And you don't encounter a bad driver and you're like, whatever, they're just, they maybe they're just, give them, the gloves come off when we're driving on the road. For whatever reason that is, if you're walking and someone is walking too slow, you're more inclined to be polite. But the fact that you're in your car, you feel like you have that kind of safety net bubble around you. And I've yelled some obscenities that I wouldn't even be able to repeat here on YouTube because we probably get demonetized or whatever. But not that we're monetized to begin with. Maybe one day, hopefully. Subscribe.
Yeah.
But
do it.
The student loans, I guess, I had it so high because I think it's kind of a scam, because I think in most cases, you're 17, 18 years old. They're here, you're not old enough to decide whether or not you want to take a sip of alcohol or smoke a cigarette, but you want to sign up for $150,000 to pay out, and you're like, well, yeah, everyone else does this, right? So yeah, why not? Here, let me go to class now. So just college, universities, it's so expensive, and to be able to wrap your head around what you're actually signing up for at that young of an age, it seems very scammy to me.
I'll add one more thing.
Yeah.
The day we posted this first matchup, my car got hit. A car merged into me in a lane that was ending onto the highway.
Who's Elaine?
What was it? Who's
Elaine? I'm just kidding.
I was like, what? Who's Elaine? Elaine was the name of the driver as well.
What a beast.
I killed her.
Good.
And I felt a lot better.
Yeah. Did you dump her body? Did you put it in the river, the lake?
Just left it there. Everybody clapped.
Yeah.
Because they saw her just my car was here and her lane is ending, and she was just poof. And everybody said, can you kill her? I said, yeah, I'll do it, sure.
Yeah. Can I chime in?
Yeah.
Okay. You just sparked something. Because there's bad drivers, but there's particular driving moves that people do all the time that just really grind my gears.
Moves, yeah.
No pun intended.
Nice.
When you see the sign, lane ends in a mile, in 2 miles, and people don't take that immediate action to get over, they think that they're better than everybody, so they speed ahead as far as they can go.
I always hope they get in an accident.
Yeah, or totally X'd out. One of my favorite moves that people do is when that sign comes on and you know that lane's ending and people are trying to speed up to get as far ahead and cut in. Sometimes like bigger trucks will do this. Well, they'll hog 2 lanes. Like they'll ride the middle of the 2 lanes so nobody can pass them.
Yeah.
And I've like hats off to the people that do that. I don't know if my car's big enough to block up the 2 lanes. I just drive a little Subaru, but yeah. So that is probably my least favorite driving maneuver that people do.
Yeah, I love watching that because I've seen that a lot because I've driven on a lot of highways that are just under permanent construction, it feels like, or like they're shut down for construction but nothing's happening. It's really well done. But I'll see those cars like they start blocking that other lane, and I always kind of like, I know why they're doing it. I don't like the people that are like, I'm gonna get ahead of all these cars and like cheat 10 people, even though I know I'm supposed to be over. There's a reason there's a backup here because this lane ends. But I'm also like, don't do that. Like, let them. My thing is like, we should all just stay super tight, and they never have a chance to get in unless they hit us. And well, that kind of happened to me. So I guess karma, because I was like, oh, I hope I'm the one they try to get in on. I'm not gonna let them in. I'm gonna let them drive up to that and just have to stop and wait for like 9, 15, 1,000 more cars to pass them.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting in here unless they're hitting my car. And then that did happen. But you even see like somebody will block that lane and they'll go on the shoulder and you're just like, I hope this person dies.
Yeah.
These are some of the worst people. I don't care who they are, what they do in their lives. If they are that inconsiderate of like just society and like they're thinking that they're 5 seconds of time that they're gonna save because they're still gonna be stuck 5 cars ahead of you, and they've just been reckless for no reason. I hope they all die.
Yeah.
This drives me. This is very serious worst thing. When people drive bad, they go on my S list forever. Yeah. I hope they all die horrible deaths.
Right. Because it adds an element of danger.
For sure.
Like how many people, how many accidents they've caused, and like not just like money, but like you're putting the people's lives at risk.
We talked about this. We were like, you really break it down, like the amount of like driving accident deaths and injuries. Like I know we've talked about like some worst things that we didn't put on this list because like we don't want to compare like major massive tragedies or like genocides or like decades or centuries long oppressions of things, but like the amount of lives that have like been lost because of bad driving or reckless driving, or just injuries and lives changed forever is gonna be the same number, if not more. Bad driving, like it's the worst thing. So it should have been a 1 seed. You can just flip these seeds, I think.
Frick off, bad drivers.
Yeah.
Here with the never mind.
Sorry.
So when
I got really fired up a little bit more as I was talking about it.
My wife and I do this thing where like, at what point am I giving you the finger? There? Am I? Probably there, right? So we'll just
don't ask me. Ask the viewers at home. We'll ask and see when it blurs because obviously.
Oh yeah, YouTube.
It'll automatically blur it. Yeah. No, we won't. It'll be really funny if like when somebody edits it, like blurs it immediately.
Yeah. So that's all. That's all I got. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we had it voted on. We had a vote for it. We wanted to see which was the worst thing: student loans, bad drivers, and the results came in. We had our first 16 seed beat a 1 seed. Bad drivers did beat student loans. I don't think it was a true 16 seed when we like think about it. This is something that should have probably been no lower than an 8. So it's a little bit unfair there, but hey, we effed up our drafting and this is what happened. Bad drivers is moving on. I hope you agree. If you disagree, I'm sorry about your massive debt. But stay safe, drive safe, don't be an asshole.